The Warriors were 12 minutes away from a 6-game losing streak, down 88-79 entering the fourth quarter. But a man named Stephen Curry made sure that the Warriors wouldn't go down to the Sacramento Kings. He scores a season-high 47 points, including 7 threes. And, of course, he's hit 3 threes in each of the 10 games the Warriors have played this season. 11 games, I should say, which is the longest streak in NBA history. Steph Curry, welcome to the Warriors postgame live. Chris Muller, the Hall of Famer. Festus Ezeli, NBA champion, former teammate. Vontae Hill, of course, is Steph. Boy, 17 points in the fourth quarter, a season-high 47, and it felt like you knew it was time to take over. Talk about what you saw in that fourth quarter against Sacramento, to which you just said, you know what, I'm going to find my shot and cook these guys.
Whatever it takes to get a win at this point. There's a sense of desperation, coming off that road trip and, struggling like we did, come home, feed off our home crowd. We got off to a great start. Certain patterns, crept in again on kind of losing momentum in middle parts of the game, but we still can show that championship kind of grit and competitiveness to pull out a game like that. I've never been more happy about a game 11 games into the season.
What's up, baby?
What's up, man?
As soon as I saw you go after the ref for that call, I knew that Steph was about to do one of those Steph things that I've known so much. Mully makes fun of me all the time. He says, I'm wee-wee. I've played with you. I've seen you have that look in your eyes. Tell me what went through your mind there at the end of the game, man. You put the team on your back like we know you can, but tell me what went through your mind there at the end.
I think it's the mentality of, we just need a little bit of energy and a little bit of fire. Draymond's been amazing, trying to push the tempo, bring our defensive presence that we haven't had all year. Our core and our vets, we know how to do it, and I just needed to light the fire a little bit, kind of get the crowd into it, get our team into it, and let them know that we're here. And then the rest of the game is just trying to make winning plays. Wiggs hit some big threes down the stretch. Loon, Draymond played great defense. Clay hit some big ones to start the fourth quarter. And, everybody contributed. So it's a lesson still of what level of intensity you need to get to just to win a regular season game, because winning in this league is extremely difficult.
Steph, I don't know if you know your numbers. 47 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 17 of 24 from the field, 7 of 12 from the three-point line. Just incredible efficiency. But talk about coming off that trip, Steph, and how Wiggins stepped up big tonight, making big threes. And I thought a big play due to your magnetic pull was Draymond's fake handoff for the dunk. Talk about the execution that we haven't seen on that road trip and how you guys executed late in the game tonight.
Just a little bit more focus. I think the last practice yesterday and then our walkthrough, we really broke down just the discipline of spacing, timing on cuts, and just trying to get everybody in sync. And so down the stretch, it paid off because I think we got a little chaotic between like 9 and 6 minutes in the fourth quarter, and then we really slowed down. You got some pressure at the rim to kick out for 2 Wiggs threes. Like you said, Draymond got the key to a dunk, but we were composed down the stretch, and that helps to make them defend, obviously get some baskets, and then be able to set up our defense knowing we're not going to turn the ball over.
The season-high 47 points, 8 30-point games. And Steph, on behalf of all Niner and Warrior fans, thanks for Christian McCaffrey, man. You made that happen. Thanks.
Yeah, and then we get blown out in Cincinnati for that reason. So, yeah, go Niner game.
There you go. Performance, man. Incredible. Great performance. Yeah, Stephen Curry, 47, 8, and 8. And you saw him more demonstrative. I saw him a couple times telling Moody, get out that corner, sprint to the corner. Let's go, let's go, let's go. They needed this win in the worst way. Things were looking bad in that third quarter, but Steph Curry happened.
His numbers off the charts.
Yep.
But you hear him post-game, talked about intensity, attention to detail, execution, some practice yesterday to clear some things up from that trip. And I thought they came out with tremendous desperation, led by Steph Curry. He started off with 8 for 8, 9 for 9, and didn't let up all game long. The Kings made a huge run, but I thought defensively, we said at halftime, you got to control the three-point line and the free throws. They only made, 6 free throws in the second half. At halftime, they had 10 made threes. They finished with 14.
Yep, made 4 in the second half.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Big shout out to the Kings for the magnificent performance today. They came out and they came with a lot of energy for this team today. So the Warriors are on the upswing now, and this is what we said before the game. If you're going to beat them, you better beat them while they were down, because now they're back to getting their groove back. That's exactly what we needed right here, was this win.
And they get 3 days off before they play the tough Cleveland Cavaliers Friday night at Chase Center. That should be a lot of fun. But Steph mentioned Andrew Wiggins, 25 points, 10 rebounds, Loon Dog playing in that second half. And as Curry mentioned, Mully, Wiggins hit some big, timely threes for the Warriors in that fourth quarter. He finished with 4 threes in the total.
And I thought really wide open threes created by dribble penetration. Here's a tough two by Steph. Great defense, better offense.
You see here Mike Brown barking out instructions, tie game at 107 apiece. Minute 32 left. Steph looking for the screen, tells Clay to get down to the corner.
Out here.
Looks for the screen.
Come out
it's
here
the
to
red
Curry
velvet.
Island.
Kevin Huerter on an island. Bang. Steph Curry with the shot there. Warriors up 3 with a minute 23 left. And you see the intensity from him. You see him more demonstrative today, knowing that the Warriors needed to stop this 5-game losing streak. Malik Monk, though, was special off the bench tonight. 24 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 threes, and he was blowing by anybody in front of him. Malik Monk, instant offense for the Sacramento Kings. But again, the Warriors get the favorable matchup. Curry gets Huerter. This fadeaway is just tough. I didn't know he had this in the bag, Mully. This is nasty.
We're watching some Klay Thompson film.
I've been watching the threes,
That's
man.
just a tough shot. Pretty good defense. When Steph's on, hot like that, there's no stand. This is a huge play by Draymond. Again, created by Steph's magnetic force. But again, a great read. Keegan Murray, the rookie. Draymond went down the lane for an easy dunk.
Look, De'Aaron Fox, we previewed him in the pregame show, Festus. This fadeaway, that's automatic. You called it a layup there as we watch this game. 28 points for De'Aaron Fox, 8 of 17, 6 assists for Fox, man. He's looking like an all-star right now.
Absolutely. He's been playing at an incredible level, and the way he goes is the way the Kings go, and they've been playing incredibly tough. Amazing comebacks the last few games for them as well. But, man, he had to go against Steph Curry tonight.
And, Mully, what were the Kings doing here?
Well, late-game situations. The Warriors had their hard times on that road trip with execution, both offensively and defensively. The play earlier, they had an opportunity to foul Draymond.
Yep.
They did not do that. And at the end of the game here, they let the clock get – I understand you don't want to foul Steph Curry. With the clock so low, you've got to foul on the catch.
They throw up a desperation shot with a second left. Kevin Huerter over Klay Thompson was close to a foul. A lot of people were looking around like, uh-oh, Klay, did you commit a foul? But the Warriors escaped with a much-needed win. Look, a lot to work on, Festus, but getting the win is so much better to watch the film after you get a dub.
I mean, we talk about attention to detail, and so for the last 5 games, they've been in close games, especially the last 4 minutes of the game. And so you see a few things there, but what I noticed was the rebounding was up. I love the defense. I love the fact that they're doing the little things. And so a game like this, you can only build off of it. I love to see Steph Curry's intensity, but the offensive flow there at the end. You see Andrew Wiggins making big plays. You see Draymond. This is how the Warriors are when they're playing Warriors basketball. Everybody, all 5 guys are playing, and that's what I got to see tonight, and I love that.
The Kings had their way the first half. Both teams went back with 10, 12 points. But in the second half, the Warriors' defense was key, keeping them off the free throw line and also guarding the three-point line. And then what they've been missing, which they added to tonight's game, was execution at the end of the game. They did a great job offensively. I thought defensively they had got some key stops as well.
No doubt. Let's go back down to Chase Center to the great KB, Garrett Bird, with a report on Stephen Curry, who had a season-high 47 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, his eighth 30-point game of the season. Heck, Garrett, he had 33 3/4. I didn't know he needed to score 17 to help the Warriors escape against Sacramento.
Yeah, another monster game for Steph. And at the top of my notes, too, Bonte, is the fact that Steph in 10 games this season has scored 30-plus points in 8 of them. So also looking at a few more stats, hot starts, keeping those hot starts in both halves of the game, too. So Steph had 4 threes at halftime. That's the team had 5, okay? And then now he finished with 7 threes. The team had 14 total. So, yes, Steph Curry arrives at 47 points, his season high. But there's a flip side to this, right? He needs a little help because he had to play 38 minutes against the Kings to help his team get this win. And he needs some supplemental scoring. The whole team needs to figure it out a little bit more, just help out Steph. So I'm looking at Clay and Poole. Those guys have had some slow starts. In fairness to Clay, he has been on a minutes restriction. He's just about to emerge from that. Jordan Poole is struggling a little bit too. Jordan averages 16.5 points this season, only 2 points in this game. Wiggins came through with 25 tonight, but sometimes he's quiet. And guys, actually, do we need to talk about Draymond a little bit as a scorer this season? So the Warriors getting some help for Steph in pockets, but they need to put it all together. That's kind of what you want to see going forward. You know, when Steph commands such gravity, when defenses know that they have to harass him and double team, that should be opening up things for other players. It's just not quite there yet. So I know Steph said at the end of the game, whatever it takes to get a win at this point, he said that with a smile, but I think it would be better for the Warriors if they could make it just a little bit easier on everybody.
Thought about that, Care. To your point, the bench gets outscored by Sacramento 49-15. You want to see that even out there moving forward for the Golden State Warriors. We'll talk to you later on in the postgame show, KB. But let's take it back to that third quarter technical that you asked about, Festus, here. We don't see Steph Curry ticked off too much on the basketball floor. We see him time to time. You were a teammate when he threw a mouthpiece in Cleveland, but he thought he got the foul here on another tough make against, there you go, Malik Monk right there. He thought he got the foul. He's looking around.
That's a foul.
Yeah, I know it is.
That's a foul.
They didn't call it. And then look at him charge the referee. I've never seen this from Stephen Curry.
Whenever you see this, Steph Curry, you know what's coming next, and that is a foul.
Look at the referee back it up here.
Hey, this is as bad as the play in Miami. That's a foul.
Yeah.
The only thing that makes this not as bad, at least they didn't review it and come back and tell me it wasn't. That's a foul in any level of basketball. That's an N1.
Have you ever seen a ref backpedal like that? He's like, whoa, whoa, back up off me.
Listen, man. I think he was surprised, too, that Steph doesn't do that. So I was surprised to see Steph do that. But like I said, I knew what was coming next because for him, this game is a must-win, especially at home, coming on 5 on the road, coming back to your home crowd, coming back to, you know, trying to build momentum here into the next phase of the season. I told you guys, they look at it in increments, 10-game increments. And so for this team right now, you have to start building those good habits. And I think this was a must-win, and you can build on this win as well.
And you look at Wiggins played 40, Draymond 36, Steph and Clay 38. The schedule plays well into that. They had to get this win tonight.
No doubt.
They don't play till Friday. Take a little mini camp, clean some things up, heal your bodies up. But coming off that 0-5 trip, tonight, not a must-win, but you could tell by the minutes. They were going to get this win, now have some days of practice and get ready for Cleveland on Friday.
Andrew Wiggins tonight, he was special, especially in that fourth quarter. We've been asking about Andrew Wiggins. Kind of disappears in the second half, has monster first halves. But look, he's a key player, and he plays so well alongside Stephen Curry. 10-17 from the floor, 4 of 8 from the three-point line, and he was that second option in that fourth quarter. And then the boards, Festus, we always beg for Wiggins to crash the glass. Well, he grabbed 10 big rebounds tonight. This steal right here on De'Aaron Fox. He goes coast to coast here for the layup. Andrew Wiggins was nasty tonight against Sacramento.
You know what Andrew Wiggins brings to the table? He has been that stabilizing force for this team most of the season, actually, maybe all the season. And so he hit some big key buckets tonight. And for him, I think the confidence coming into this game, understanding that this is I will call it a must-win because coming into this game, having 3 days off, you need to get this win, and so you put the ball in your guard's hands.
I'm with you, Festus.
Yeah, it's a must-win
tonight.
It's a must-win
tonight. The I-80 Classic, Willie.
Steph said that too when he was smiling.
Absolutely.
11 games in, man. They needed it. 3
You gotta
7
start
feels a
building.
lot better than 3 and 8.
You look at Wiggins,
Yeah.
to me, he can always get the post-ups. He's always going to score. But when the offense is flowing, he get those wide-open threes. Tonight, he knocked them down. A lot of them were huge shots.
You know what we forgot to ask Steph was how his ankle was, the left ankle. I guess it's okay, right?
Got 3
He scored
days off.
17. He scored 17 in the fourth quarter. Ended up with 47 points. We're going to hear from Steve Kerr on the other side about some of the rotations. We'll get live player reaction as the Warriors survive against Sacramento. More coming up on Warriors Postgame Live.
Warriors Post-Game Live is presented by Toyota.
Toyota, as we look at a team stat comparison, and the Warriors end up shooting 50% from the floor. Sacramento down to 40% to free throws. Sacramento, as you mentioned, Willie, they made 6 free throws in the second half. They were 19 to 21 in the first half, and that was a key, Festus, in our pregame show. That don't foul these guys. Don't put these guys on the line. They put Orlando on the line 46 times. Of course, Detroit 38 times. So the Warriors get the win here. Bench points, though. bench points. And as we talk about the rotations here, we saw a lot of Anthony Lamb. We only saw Kuminga for 9 minutes, all coming in the first half. So Steve Kerr Festus said, you know what, we got to get a win. We're going to play Wiggins for 40 minutes. We're going to play Clay and Steph for 38. And Draymond played heavy minutes tonight. So we didn't see much of this new rotation tonight.
Yes, so the new rotation is what? Anthony Lamb playing more minutes. J.K. saw some time on the floor tonight, which I thought he looked good as well. But when I look at the stat sheet, I look at physicality. On a night like tonight where I say it's a must-win for them, I look at Kevon Looney, 13 rebounds. I see Andrew Wiggins, 10 rebounds. Draymond, 8 rebounds. This is a 1-2. This is what they did here, especially in the second half. And then they stopped fouling in the second half as well. 21 free throws in the first half, and then they end up with 29 for the Sacramento Kings. So, we know what the thing is. We know what the details are for the team to do. And as a veteran team, it's good to see them do it even when the bench was struggling a little bit tonight.
The rotation is a work in progress because tonight is a unique situation. We have 3 days off. They're not going to play these players this tight minutes for the rest of the season. So they still have to figure out those rotations, and I think that's going to be in flux each and every night. I think the good thing is there's 3 days of practice. They can clean some things up. Who that is, that's going to depend on matchups, who's playing well. Tonight, when the Warriors made their run, the Kings came right back and made a run back at them. So Steve Kerr went to his winning veteran players. That's why Wiggins got 40 minutes. Steph and Clay get 38. Draymond gets 36. Without that, they don't win the game. The bench was dominated. There was no real rhythm there. So I don't think anything was secured tonight as far as rotation minutes, whether it be Lamb, Kuminga, who knows when Wiseman comes back.
Yeah.
That's still a work in progress.
All right, let's talk about Jordan Poole, one of the key figures off that bench. We thought he would be in the running for Sixth Man of the Year. Jordan Poole, of course, signed a big extension before the season, $123 million guaranteed, a 4-year deal, which kicks in next season. But tonight just wasn't his night. 2 points, 1 of 4, 0 for 2 from the three-point line, 1 rebound and 3 assists. He's not looking for a shot. We talked about over-dribbling Festus. Jordan Poole right now in his last 4 games has just been in a funk.
I think, ever since they started calling the palming violations and all that, I think that it's maybe gotten in his head some. But Jordan Poole is one of the guys on our team. He's one of the tougher guys on our team. He's one of the, well, I won't call him a tougher guy, but I'm saying he's a tough guy on this team. And so confidence is never going to waver. But for him, I think trying to figure out when to probe, when to create. Still 3 assists tonight, but for Jordan Poole, I think a night where he's going 1 for 4, there's something about the offense that's not clicking for him right now. But to walk out of this game with a win and knowing you shot 1 for 4 and you can still come out and make your imprint on the game on Friday, I think
55.
He started the second half. So Steve Kerr went to a big-time offensive lineup, and I thought that did inject a bunch of energy into the defensive side of the basketball.
First play was a third-quarter 3 by Andrew Wiggins.
On a drive by Jordan Poole. So I found it interesting. We've been talking so much about defense, but to me, what I found interesting was the fact you put a big-time offensive lineup out there just to create energy on both sides of the basketball. I thought the start of the second half was key. They found their rhythm. They didn't maintain that, and that's why the starters had to play so many minutes. But I just found it really interesting. Jordan Poole started the second half, made a beautiful drive, and just kind of inserted some energy into that lineup.
How can they unlock Jordan Poole to get him more shots, create more easy opportunities for him on the offensive end?
Yeah, we talked pregame about DiVincenzo being out. I think he's a key player for them because he can play on and off the basketball. He's a good defender, so that could free Jordan Poole up to play off the basketball some. But I still think it's up to Jordan Poole to recognize and aware where time. Obviously for the Warriors' problem, but it's also the Sacramento Kings putting a big run on you. So the NBA is a game of runs, and when you check into that ball game, you better understand who you're playing against individually, what your assignment is defensively and offensively, or they're going to expose you.
16-2 run in the first quarter where Sacramento took the lead and took command of the first half. De'Aaron Fox, 28.6 assists, but of course Steph Curry is the star of the show. His 8th 30-point game of the season, 47 points, 7 threes, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Andrew Wiggins was a perfect Robin tonight, 25 points, 10 rebounds, 4 timely threes for the Dubs as they snap their 5-game losing streak and get a much-needed win before taking out the Cavaliers this Friday. They'll have 3 days off. Let's hear from the head coach of the Warriors, Steve Kerr, presented by BMW.
You definitely started with new rotations. Did you kind of throw it out the window and go with the gut, or was this kind of the rotations you were planning?
First half was basically the way we had planned, and then at halftime we decided to start Jordan for Loon, just to throw a changeup out there. We were we were not right in that first half. After the good start, we just lost our juice, and so second half it was more just kind of figure it out. But we wanted to start Jordan, see if we could get him going a little bit and spread the floor. I really liked our energy in the second half. We held them to, I think, 4 of 18 from 3 in the second half, as opposed to maybe 10 for 22 first half. And it just felt like we were making our presence felt, just with the energy and flying around. So second half, we did enough to get it done. But yeah, it was at that point we were kind of flying by the seat of our pants.
I assume you don't love like the burden on Steph necessarily.
Sorry?
I assume you don't love the burden on Steph necessarily tonight. I mean, do you feel generally good coming out of this win, or like what's? I mean, I'm sure it's kind of relieving.
Feel great.
But
we needed the win. Steph had the New Orleans game off. So did Wiggs. So did Clay. So did Draymond. So, and we've got 3 days before our next game. So we felt comfortable chasing this one with heavy minutes, and it was obviously necessary. And but it's not sustainable. So we know we can't do this for long.
Steve, how would you describe the fourth quarter where you outscored them by 12 and Steph had 17?
I would just say that Steph was just breathtaking. He's obviously one of the greatest players of all time, and he plays so well on so many nights. But this even seemed like something special for him. 17 for 24, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, no turnovers, hitting every big shot. He just put us on his back, and the other guys played with great energy. And I thought the starting group, did everything necessary to win the game. Wiggs with a couple big threes, Clay's defense, Draymond and Loon, they were all fantastic, but that was just Steph Curry deciding we were going to win.
Entering tonight, you talked a lot about how Jonathan Kuminga was going to earn minutes, was going to be part of the rotation, didn't play in the second half, though. Moving forward, is he still in the rotation, or is it back to the drawing board, making more adjustments?
No.
Or?
Yeah, JK will be out there next game. So as I said, at halftime, the way the game was going, we decided to change the rotation up. But he'll be back out there.
For a quick one, were you intending to foul there up 1.3, or was there no foul?
No, because based on 1.3, it pretty much had to be a catch and shoot. So we were just playing on the outside of the 3-point line. We told our guys, just if they want to get anything towards the rim, let them have anything, inside the 3-point line. Just guard the line, and it's just too dangerous to foul in that situation, because whoever catches it, it's going to be going up with a shot. And as we found out last year, it seems kind of random whether people in that situation get continuation or not. We were on the wrong end of one of those last year when we fouled LeBron before the shot, but they gave him the free throws. And I didn't have a challenge. We didn't have a timeout left either. So it was just, challenge as best we can. And Clay got a good challenge.
And it's 11 games now on the bench. The minuses are piling up. It's an accumulation here. I know it's still early. I know you're happy because of the win, but how big a problem is this becoming? And I mean, another big minus for Poole, another big minus for almost everybody on the bench, except for Moody. Is this becoming a major issue in your mind?
Well, it's an early season issue, and we got 71 games left, so it's something we are going to address, we'll continue to address, and I have a lot of confidence in our guys. JP's in a little bit of a funk right now, but we know what he can do. He's so important to to our bench unit, and I'm very confident that he'll get it going, and that we'll find the right combinations and patterns to help those guys get going.
Could that potentially?
All right, Andrew Wiggins picks up his second double-double of the season, but Steph Curry had a historic night that puts him in company with Larry Bird. Bully, you can't wait to see this one. This is a good, juicy stat right here. More coming up on Warriors Post Game Live.
Warriors Post Game Live is brought to you by Service Champions Heating and Air Conditioning.
In my mind, Steph Curry is most like Larry Bird historically because of his ability to play with and without the basketball. We see Steph do it each and every night, off the dribble, twos, layups, runners. We see him coming off down screens, flash screens, high pick and rolls. Larry Bird did the same thing. He ran pick and roll with Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale, and he was dynamic off the basketball. So to me, historically, and it seems weird because Larry was such a different player size-wise, but to me, Steph Curry and Larry Bird have had this huge impact with and without the basketball like no other players in the history of the league.
It's beautiful to see that Steph Curry, even at 34,
14
seasons in, is still getting better. We're still seeing things that we haven't seen in this game yet, which is the running turnaround jumper at the end of the game. And, these are things in Steph Curry's game. He just continues to work and continues to show this team and show the game that there's so much more to him, and what he's about in this game is about joy, and the way he plays, it's something that the gravitational pull, like you said, Mully, is something that inspires this team and wills them to win.
And I've got to say, in this franchise, in this Warrior franchise, the other player he's most like is Rick Barry. Because Rick Barry was Larry Bird before Larry Bird. Playing with and without the basketball, running pick and roll, setting up your teammates, basically putting the team on your back like Steph did tonight.
Steph Curry, 17 points in the fourth quarter, 6 of 8 from the floor, 2 of 3 from the three-point line, a plus 13. Andrew Wiggins played all 12 minutes of the fourth quarter, 13 points, made 3 threes as well. But Steph Curry, 47 points, a season high for him. And look, Draymond Green quietly is playing better and better and better, especially offensively. 11 points tonight for Day-Day. He was barking, he was chirping, he was playing physical. 8 rebounds, 6 assists. You got to love what the big from Saginaw, Michigan had his outcome tonight, Festus.
Yes, Sparty. What I loved about him is I didn't see him making those unnecessary fouls before, and so he could stay in the game this time. Draymond Green, what he brings to this team is he pushes the ball, obviously the defensive anchor, and here, just a great read, great IQ play by Draymond, understanding that Steph Curry is going to take 2 guys with him on the dribble handoff, and understanding he was going to have a wide open lane to the basket. I think there were times last year when we talked about Draymond is on the offensive end saying, well, you need to be more aggressive because that's going to help the team. And I knew coming into the season that he was going to take that up a notch. Right? After everything that's been happening, I feel like this is a game where we needed that offensive spark from Draymond as well. And so with the bench struggling, with all the things, the 5 starters came to play today, and that was a great play by Draymond.
Yeah, Draymond got off to a quick start offensively, at 8 points at halftime. But what I noticed, and he does it mostly every night, but tonight in key moments, towards the end of the game, he took De'Aaron Fox one-on-one on the side out of bounds. We saw him guard Domantas Sabonis one-on-one. We saw him match up with Keegan Murray. So as versatile he is a defender, I thought offensively he showed a lot in the first half. When they needed it most, that fake handoff for the dunk was a huge play. We saw that in Orlando. He got the dunk on Suggs. So he really feels the game out beautifully, but his defense was key tonight. He had 6 assists, 8 rebounds. But then when they needed him most, he used Steph Curry's gravitational pull to his advantage and drove the lane for a nice, easy dunk.
All right, let's discuss Klay Thompson's game tonight. 16 points for Klay, 6 of 18 from the floor, 3-10 from the three-point line. He has some great looks here. Great looks. He was 1 of 5 in the fourth quarter. He's still searching for a shot, Festus. Still searching for that rhythm. It feels like it's coming soon. but it hasn't quite got there yet. But I guess a positive here for Clay, Festus, 37 minutes, 57 seconds.
Yes.
The minute restriction is off.
Yes, love to see that. And so you can start building. And you see a lot of his shots are short. And so what's been great to see in Klay Thompson's game is that mid-range game, like you see right here, has been money. So you understand that the shot is still online. And so for Klay Thompson, it doesn't matter if he's hitting shots or not. Klay Thompson is still going to garner the attention that he deserves, which is all the defenders are going to pay attention to him. And it still makes the offense easier for the team. And so Klay Thompson's offense will come with time. We always talk about slumps. Jordan Poole is in a slump right now, and maybe our bench is in a slump as well. But Klay Thompson's slump has come because of lack of time on the court. He didn't play basketball all summer, and he didn't play in the preseason, played one game in the preseason. So with all this stuff happening, this is his practice time right now. And then we have 3 days off, so he's going to get some practice time as well. But we talk about legs being the last thing to come in. When you see his shots being short, that's also part of it, part of him getting back into the flow of the game.
It's just a matter of time before Klay starts getting uncontested looks. He's shooting a lot of contested shots. The Warriors are not getting out in the open floor as much as they'd like to. Much like Wiggins, Klay's going to make his fair shot of tough shots. What is the difference is when he finds those open ones. And then now all of a sudden he goes from a 16-point game to a 24-point game.
All right, Warriors rally back against the Sacramento Kings. They were down 88-79 entering the fourth quarter. They outscored the Kings 37-25 in the final frame to steal this one. We're going to hear from Steve Kerr on a special, important day in America tomorrow. More coming up on Warriors Post Game Live.
Celebrate